name's Perrin. I'm going to be talking to you guys today about the shark catamaran and sailing, and why you should take both of those up. Sailing's been in my blood for forever. It's in my family. My parents, my mom and my dad have won the Shark National Championships 4 times. My grandfather's won them 5. I placed second once. But yeah, sailing's in my blood. That's what I do. And it really hurts me. I see everybody and they think that sailing is boring, it's slow, it's going nowhere. And it isn't. It's just you're looking at the wrong boats. You're looking at this thing right here. It's called a monohull. It's just got one hull. It's pretty much what you see like a yacht is a monohull. And it's got a big keel, which is this big fin on the bottom of it with a big lead weight. And that keeps that boat stable in the water. But also what it does is it makes it really slow and really boring to sail. Because if you get that monohull going any speed at all, it's going to want to tip on its side because of that sail sticking up. It's like a big lever. And it's going to tip that boat on its side, and you're going to have to let out the sails and slow down. There's no stability in it. It's really boring to sail. And most people, that's all they see. It's hard to see a catamaran, which is what I'm going to be talking about. Now they have 2 hulls, one on either side, separated by this big beam in the middle. And that makes them ultra stable, so we can make them very overpowered compared to a monohull. Much faster, much more stable, even safer. And that's where the fun really comes about sailing. Now if I told you guys I've been on a sailboat that goes 55, 60 miles an hour, would you believe me?
No.
Anybody? No? Well, I have. DN ice boat. You don't go on the water, you go on the ice. And you can go 4 times the speed of the wind on that boat. Make it in your garage, too. I've only been clocked at 55, but people have been clocked faster. And that's a hell of a fun boat. Make it in your garage. Make the runners out of old ice skates if you want to. We don't. We use carbon steel, but hey, it's a different story. But yeah, sailboats are a lot faster than you think. They're a lot more fun, and also they're a lot more affordable. Now, my boat here, Shark Catamaran, I built out of an old one, and I got 2nd place at the National Championship, which is it's pretty good for making it out of an old rickety boat. My boat was 50 years old. It was one of the first sharks ever made. And I made that, redid it for $2,200, which is pretty good. Materials and everything. It's one of the lightest boats in the entire fleet. Now, being a shark catamaran, you're in a 1 design class, which means all the boats have a minimum weight requirement and a maximum sail allotment. So if you're on a shark catamaran, you can't get like a go fast sail and beat everybody else. You can't buy speed. You can't tune your boat to be faster. It's all just skill. It's whoever has more skill. Now, having a better boat, that can make a lot of difference. Like, what separates a shark from, say, its competition, like a Hobie 16, a Hobie 18, a Nacra, or a Super Cat, is its design. Now, a shark has a solid trampoline, which is this section here. You've got your 2 hulls, and then the deck between them, where you'd be standing. Now, on a shark, that's all fiberglass, wood, carbon fiber, whatever. On any of these boats, which compete with a shark, you've got net. Now, if you can imagine, having carbon fiber between your hulls makes a hell of a lot stronger boat than net. Net isn't very strong, especially when it's not even stretched. Now, that gives a shark an advantage over its competition already, plus it makes it more stable. It makes it more rigid. The more rigid your boat is, the faster it's going to be. Otherwise, it's just going to be flopping around in the water. Now, another thing that makes a shark different than, say, a monohull, which you're used to seeing, or its competition over here, is that it's got centerboards versus a keel, or on these boats, a dagger board. Now, when you got a centerboard, you see it, it's this fin that sticks below, but it's way different than a keel. You see a keel, this big fin here with the lead weight on the bottom of it, you can't move it at all. It's stuck there. It's fixed to the boat with glue. Now, on a shark, it's on a pivot. So if you are going along, and say you're going along being pushed by the wind, and you don't need those centerboards because you're going in a straight line. So you flip them up. Less resistance, you go faster. Plus, it makes it better. Say we were sailing in the ocean, and we were actually running into the problem of hitting manatees with the centerboards. Now, that's a big problem because it breaks off your board and destroys your boat. Well, it wasn't a problem for us. We just hit a little button, and boink, these things will flip up as soon as they hit anything. Now, versus a keel, it just busts off the keel and ruins your boat. Now, monohulls are a hell of a lot more expensive than catamarans, too. Because of you need more materials, it needs to be stronger, and you need the big lead-weighted keel. It's a big investment you're out of. Also, on these, you have something called a dagger board, which is a keel that will lift straight up, and that's it. that doesn't help you out either, because you hit something, it breaks right off. So that already puts the shark ahead of him. Now another thing that puts the shark ahead of its competition, make you want to get it more than anything else, it's overpowered. It's faster than any of these other boats. Shark Catamaran was designed for 175 square foot of sail. We run 300. It's an incredibly overpowered boat. Way more power than, say, Hobie 16, Hobie 18, Nacra 2.0, or a Super Cat, which are pretty much shark knockoffs. So we've got a lot more power to weight ratio. It's like comparing a motorcycle to, like, I don't know, a barge. We've got more power than them. We can go faster. But what also makes us better is we can depower. Say we're in really high winds and it's throwing us around. There's a little lever on the back of this piece here, which is called a boom. It's on the bottom of the sail. You hit that, and it stretches the sail out really far, and the sail works like an airplane wing. It generates lift forward, and that's what makes a sailboat fast. Now, when you do that, it stretches out that wing and makes it flat, so it doesn't do anything. You're depowered. You're safe. When I was racing in Virginia Beach. There was a 40-mile-an-hour gust. All the other boats were flipping over left and right. All the Hobies, all the Nacras, all the sharks. They flipped a little lever and sailed right in. No damage, nothing. They were all stuck in crab nets. I mean, that's no fun. So we've got a couple more things that make a shark better than these other boats. And that's the design. You see how the front of the hull comes in at an angle like this, really slow? Now that makes it so the shark won't flip forward. Now you've got a Hobie 16, a Hobie 18, an Acura, or a Super Cat. They flip in any direction you want. They'll flip forward and catapult you off the back. They'll flip at a diagonal and really launch you far. Or even my favorite, they'll flip backwards. Now trust me, I've seen flipping backwards, but I've never done it. It doesn't look fun. And it breaks a lot of parts too. Generally what happens is the mast, the big metal pole, gets snapped off in the mud on the bottom of the lake or the ocean, wherever you're sailing. That's expensive, especially on those boats. Shark can only flip sideways. Can't flip backwards, can't flip forward, and no, they don't flip diagonal. Now, there's one final thing that makes them quite a bit, well, two final things. One final thing that makes them better is the shape of the hull. They're filled with air. The entire hull is filled with air, both of them. And normally they're made out of wood. Now, there's a couple fiberglass ones here and there. But it makes them super buoyant. You can get 6, 7 people on a shark, no problem. On a Hobie 16, you have any more than 2 and the thing sinks under the water. You can't put more. What's the purpose of a boat if you can have 2 people on it? That's no fun. You can pack a whole bunch of people, we go fishing on them, anything. It's really a multi-purpose vessel. And then you've got the other point. We've got the oldest community of all catamarans. Our fleet's going on our 50th national championships this year. We're the oldest boat in existence of this design, of catamaran design. And we've got a huge community all ready to help you out. We've got guys like my dad. He'll give you a free mast if yours breaks. We've got a guy, where is he? Up in Penfield. He'll make you any part you want. You say your mast step breaks, which is a little expensive part right here that connects the mast to the boat. Say that breaks, he'll make you a new one. Everybody's there to help you out. Everybody's there. We've even given boats away, and they're not expensive either. Plus, a shark's easy to learn on. We've got 2 ropes. Just 2. You've got one for the big sail and one for the little sail. And that's it. You don't have to mess with anything else. You're pulling your rope and go. Now say on a Hobie 18 or an Nacra 2.0, you've got up to 22 ropes. 22 ropes. How are you supposed to remember what to do with all that? I have no clue. I mean, you've got one for like the tension on the mainsail. You've got one for the diagonal tension. You've got like one for everything. It's ridiculous. It takes the fun out of it. The Shark is the most simplistic, easy to sail, fun boat you can get your hands on. It's cheap, it's practical, it's easy. Any part breaks, you can make a new one. You can get a new one. Somebody will help you out. A Shark is a superior vessel to every other one, and you should get one. You should get into sailing. It's a fun sport. It's cheap. It's easy. You don't need any gas. Just haul it down to the beach, drop it in, leave it there, anything. Just get out and sail. Have a good time.